All right. Welcome, gentlemen. No ladies. No ladies. To the Wheel Pick Podcast. I'm your host, Fernando Pressamon of the Shanghai Sharpedos. And I'm joined by my co-hosts.
Ben Schluter, coach of the Hong Kong Bronzongs and commissioner of the Midwest Pokemon League.
Paisan Sagan, coach of the Portland Trailblazers. I'm coming off a 9-hour shift, so you have to excuse my lack of thought into the words that I say. Also, I'm the best battler in the league. No cap. No cap.
On God, no cap.
On God.
All right. We had quite a wonderful winter draft, and let's just get right into it. So we're going to start off with the Quagmire, Ethan Porter. Came out swinging on this draft. Everyone thought he was going to draft Mega Pidgeot, except for me and Swan, who knew.
Yeah. I like this draft, I gotta say. This is a very, very strong draft. I was not expecting it from Ethan, is what I will say as well.
He has 3 dragons.
He does.
Yeah, we're going to come out here and we're going to consider Drampa as a dragon.
I thought Appleton would be more of a question.
My thing is, Drampa and Cyclizar are both normal dragons. Are they the 2 only normal dragons?
That's correct.
Yes. Wonderful. Other than the evolution of Dudunsparce?
That's just regular normal, right?
Coming out in Gen 14.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, no, he has the Dunsparce. He's about Dunsparce.
But yeah.
Dozo.
Obviously, Golden Go is a first round, as like the first overall pick. I don't think anyone has any problems with that.
Yeah, no.
That is insane.
And later on in the draft, getting Shuckle to go with it, like, that is just signature how you draft around this Mon. I think that's perfectly fine.
There are 3 major ghost Pokemon that we expected to go in, at least the first 8, and it was Goldengo, Annihilate, and Dragapult, which all went in, the first 6. Goldengo is completely unique in what it's capable of doing. Completely immune to status moves. And that's all status moves, not like status like Paralysis or Toxic. It's like any status move.
Yeah, so it's like Toxic with my Voltbreaker Haxorus.
Or my Celiumite Toadscruel. Put it to sleep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it cannot be defawed, which is why, again, I do highly value that Shuckle pickup. I also really like the Cyclizar third round. I think Cyclizar allows some of the weaker Mons on this team to actually have a purpose. For example, Linoon, I think, is actually, like, not shitty on this team.
You see, sadly, you think that this man put thought into it. Tell me, what do you think the usage rates of Dondozo and Cyclizar are?
On his team?
No, just in general. In OU.
Cyclizar is banned, so, 0 right now.
Yeah, right now. But he was using last month's usage stats. That's why there's a Dondozo and Cyclizar on the team. The Ditto and the Mega Beedrill are both good, but I feel like after that, like, Lanoon is just more a signature pick for him. The Shuckle's just it's going to bounce shock. But the rest of his draft, I believe, just kind of falters off. I don't even really like Galarian Moltres in it. So
I can see the idea behind Galarian Moltres if he's going to use it with the Cyclizar. However, if he's going to try to just be a stall piece of shit, then clearly that mod will not work. And off goes JoJo.
Yeah, if you hear the toenail clicks in the background, that is our
mascot.
Our 7th roommate? 6th?
Yeah, 7th.
7th roommate. JoJo.
Oh, look at him. He went for the bone. I do think this team has some positives. I think it's almost just, in my mind, it's like completely held up by the fact that it's just a Golden. It's just basic Golden.
Golden was really just the best mod in this league right now. Yeah.
Going off the Moltres note, I just wanted to note that does give him a bulky flying type, because otherwise ground moves do a bit to the team, I think, because like coverage for Goldengo will help. I'm realizing that's the only weakness, but still, that's an immunity to add.
No, I think his team accomplishes everything. How would you guys rate this team?
We putting this on a scale, or we just putting it on our own scale?
Put it on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being the worst team in the league.
Well, worst team ever. We're talking about
worst team in this.
Just worst team in this draft. Because otherwise, I would say that almost it's hard to compare these teams to prior teams because of the power level and the point reduction, right? Mm-hmm. So I think it has to be
put into scale it down, given that we have so many new powerful mons.
I know my answer. If I'm still thinking, I would put this team as like a 4, because while the team does have its merits and it has good picks, ultimately, again, there's just a lot of recycled things that don't need to be in this draft. Like, why do you have Drampa and Cyclizar? Why do you have Appleton on this team? Well, what purpose does Rapidash Galar serve? No, it's just things like that where it's like, these are really wasted picks. I'm not a big fan of the Beedrill pick, although I obviously see like where the Fell Stinger might come into play.
When's this gonna get released, in like a week or so or something?
We're gonna release it so that we can talk
Tonight.
about waivers.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I do think if he can waiver Mega Beedrill for Mega Heracross with Trailblaze behind a Cyclizar Shed-Tail, I think is very good. My issue is more the fact that while Ben likes having Dondozo and Ditto as two different counter setup things, I'm put in the position where Ditto behind a Cyclizar doesn't really mean much, and I think the only mon on his team that can really abuse the Shed-Tail is Golden. And it can abuse it very well, in my opinion. But I would also put this team around like a 3, honestly. There's no real cohesion to it.
Yeah, agreed.
I think it is one of the weaker
So
teams
you can
in the
just
draft.
open your bag. Just do it quick.
I'll disagree and give it a 5. I think it's still, like, despite the overlapping roles that a lot of the mons on this team play, I think the roles that they play are still so good that he has 4 or 5 mons that are staples every week, and then he can put in other mons to help support against that matchup to make his matchup more favorable. Because I think the 4 or 5 staples each week are still enough to make this a good team.
I will say when I did do my original ratings for the worst and best teams in the league, this team escaped the bottom 3, and we'll go over those when we get there.
Ooh, alrighty. Alright, next up we have one of our, not rookies, he was a part of the UU split along with Arian, but right now we're going to be talking about Aaron and the Milwaukee Sawsbucks?
Yeah,
Yes.
correct.
Milwaukee Spawbucks.
Swallots.
Smallsbox.
Smallpox.
His draft also started off with a strong Ghost type and Annihilate, and then honestly is just kind of like solid throughout. There's nothing that I would say really jumps out at me. I know that he wanted Heatran pretty badly, correct, Quinn? Yep, so it's good to see that he got that. I'm interested to see if he has any special plans with it. But otherwise, this team is just kind of really bulky with the, heavy power coming in from the Darm. But this is going to be one hell of a team to try and break. The one thing that I'm not a big fan of is having both Rotom Wash and Vape on the same team. I would rather one of those be different, like maybe swap. Like, is Vape also BL right now?
Yeah.
This BL, yes.
But Rotom Wash is
Where's
OUB.
Umbreon?
Umbreon is
Umbreon's
OUB.
BL.
That's
it's
up to
OUB.
OUB.
Oh,
Once
See,
again,
that's the
Palmer.
thing. Because I think Rotom Wash Umbreon core is very good, as Quinn knows. He's used that. But it's just the thing of, at that point, you have like the paired weaknesses, which I feel like isn't always a problem. I just think that in this one scenario where you want to have the Vaporeon being able to Wish Pash kind of is a bit rough. But it really is just bulking and chipping everything down for like a late game Scoliopeed into something sweep, or the classic Annihilate Rage Fist sweep.
Man's got the 3 best water types in the game. Rotom Wash, Vaporeon, and Annihilate.
I still, that was one thing when I was first looking at this team, I couldn't get, I'm like, Annihilate's not a fighting ghost type, it's just another water type. This man drafted 3 water types.
I do agree. Scolipede with anything on this team, mostly Annihilate, getting that speed is probably the most dangerous.
So should I have the hottest take yet?
Go ahead.
This is, in my opinion, the second worst team in the draft.
Really?
Yep.
Why is that?
For starters, giant rock weakness with really no hazard control. I mean, yeah, you can say he has Articuno, but let's be realistic here. And that means that with that fucking weakness, he has to bring heavy-duty boots to a lot of these mons.
Sure, but a decent chunk of that rock weakness is coming from the Articuno and Swoobat, right? His top mons
The Emolga's
have,
probably not seen play either.
the only, sure, Orbeetle, Darm, and Scoliopeed, right, have rock weaknesses, but I'm not gonna come out here and be like, oh no, the rock weakness from Emolga, Articuno, and Swoobat.
Sure. But hear me out, right? So the issue is that with mons like Scolipede or Darmanitan, where they need to come in and do a lot on their turns that they have, taking any chip is really bad on them, and not having any hazard control to facilitate those mons.
Doesn't Rotom Wash have defog?
Sure, but then you can't run it with
Then you have to run Defog on Rotom Wash.
Yeah. That's the 4-move slot syndrome conundrum, right?
Yeah.
And then also, it's just I don't like the Annihilate with Vaporeon. And it's kind of like
Really?
that same thing with you, where it's like, you say you don't like the Rotom Wash with the Vaporeon. Like, my thing is, I feel like the Umbreon's better because of Synchronize and the Heal Bell combo. But with Vaporeon having Water Absorb, I just feel like that pick is entirely wasted because you're missing out on one of like the best aspects of that core with like the evolution.
Yeah, but I like the fact that they don't share any weaknesses. Because, you know, for example, if you take the Annihilate plus Umbreon, you have like the fairy weakness.
Yeah. But then you have the Heatran.
You have Heatran, exactly. Yeah. Which is great.
And that mon is still on the board, so we can obviously still see that happen.
Yeah. Again, my thing, which I would have liked to have seen with the Annihilate, is just something that's very weak to U-turn. To just keep baiting up Rage Fist stacking.
Yes.
Especially if you have an amazing Wish Pass or like Vaporeon, right?
Yeah.
The one thing about that we do have to remember is when it comes to Vape and Annihilate, is Annihilate has a very big HP pool, so those wishes won't be doing as much as you would think when it comes to that.
Yes.
I do like this team a bit more than Ethan's. I do also think this is slow movements, right? You have to get so much chipping done before you can bring in the Darm to like try and sweep. Because a lot of the times, I assume the Annihilate's just going to be a bulky Annihilate, trying to get like Rage Fist stacks or something.
That's the way you should play it. And
yeah.
If you're bringing the Scarf, then you're missing out on, I think, the best aspect of Annihilate.
I do think that there's definitely a week or two where it can be used, though. Especially when you have the Orbeetle to pass like defensive stats and just like be like,
Absolutely.
I am going to sit here and not fucking die.
We do also have to remember that Orbeetle is significantly, like, detrimented this split because of the fact that it doesn't have Body Press.
Yeah,
so
I think
what this mon's bringing every
It does put it more into just the baton pass variant, right? Also, my thing, I don't feel like Webbs does too much on his team. The only mon that it really helps is the Darmanitan, right? Like
it can help the Annihilate.
Yeah, I was gonna say the Annihilate.
Yeah, but I still feel
helps
like
the Darm more, but still helps the Annihilate.
And what I will say is, because I wrote this down in my notes, this team needs 2 waivers to go from being a bottom 2 team to a top 6 team.
Ooh, if you think there's 2 waivers, then I suppose that we should wait a bit.
Yeah, I won't say anything more than that.
That sounds good. I would give this... I do think I like Ethan's team a little. Do I? Man, I think that's just me valuing Golden Go that highly.
Yeah,
especially when it's behind a sub.
Great.
I put them around the same. Did I say 3?
You said 3 for Ethan.
I'll give 3 to Aaron too.
I would give a 3 to Aaron as well, because I think it is worse than Ethan's team, but not by much.
I really like the first 3 with Scolipede, and it's a couple waivers away from being better. I'd actually say it's better than Ethan's team.
Ooh, okay.
I'd give it a 5.5. I think Annihilate...
What is this 0.5 shit, man?
I can't believe we're gonna come out here and say every single team is a 5. Every team is a 7. Every Marvel
Not every
movie,
team
every Marvel
is a 5.
movie is a 7.
But these first 2 are both in the 5 range. I'm giving them 5.5.
All right, sounds good. Who wants to start off with?
Patrick
Former
Bruce and
house
the
member.
Rotom Washington. And, this man was house until he left, so, we have to be fair and say that he's the worst team. No, I'm kidding.
This seems dog.
Well, anyone want to give their actual thoughts? Or should I start this off? I know, Ben, you had some thoughts considering
Ooh,
you have to face him in your division.
Also,
I don't have to play Patty.
Do you not?
No.
Oh, really?
How about, what are your thoughts on his sub team?
Dog. There's just so many changes he would have to make to get out of Sun, because there's no way to improve Sun further, right? It's all the photosynthesis mons are gone, and there are no real good Sun mons left, right?
I think you could legitimately. Is Hydreigon OUB?
Which one?
Hydreigon.
Hydreigon
is
is
a BS.
What's available?
Does he have another OUB? I think a simple change that he can make is almost just swap out. I would swap out Mimikyu for the Pepper. Still villain.
Okay, so here's my
Well, I
thing.
would do that, and then some lower tier changes needed to be switched out too. I'm not just gonna hard say that. I'm saying then you take out Leafeon or something, or just take out Suicune. Why is Suicune there? What's the point of Suicune?
Suicune's just there to click, protect, calm mindset.
And that's why I'm saying-
And then get Solar Beamed into Oblivion.
But no one's bringing Solar Beam against this team.
Great Tusk.
No
That's
one
the
is
one.
bringing.
That's the one thing about Great Tusk. It's Solar Beam bait.
It is Solar Beam bait, but I'm not. Okay, if I face Patty, I'm not bringing Solar Beam against this team. Because here's the thing about
Bring
this
Solar
team.
Beam on Iron Bundle.
Fair enough. Does that one get?
No.
Yeah. The thing about this team compared to every other team that's using Sun this split is that this team needs Sun. This team is so worthless if Zard Y dies.
That is true. It's not like a mon, like, let's skip
Because like
the future bit,
Venusaur,
like Iron
Leafeon,
Mon.
and Marowak Alola are absolutely worthless without Sun.
Okay, that's not true. A Trick Room, Alolan Marowak.
He doesn't have a Trick Room. Well, Espeon, but like, let's be realistic here. Let's be fucking realistic here.
Mimikyu. Mimikyu gets Trick Room.
Yeah.
Actually, no, I brought that to VGC.
Okay, fair enough, fair enough. I'm not bringing Mimikyu Trick Room.
Getting the Zard Y just automatically makes your opponent want to bring rocks because it can't hold boots.
No boots. No boots.
So it's forcing the Great Tusk to be consistently rapid spinning away the hazards.
Its hand was holding the rock, so it couldn't put on the boots.
Exactly. Yeah, I would personally start moving away from the sun elements of this team, and that's going to help mons like Suicune shine on this team instead.
It's weird because it is put in a position where it's like, you wanna... This team wants to bring Sun just as like a once in a while thing, but it has Megazord Y.
But it can't, so
like, especially in this point reduction split where like, if your OUA is like the Sunmon, you are like almost locked into it. So you have to commit harder than I think he did.
Or he could drop the Zard Y for one of the great OUAs that are still available.
There is still
but again,
a
that
lot.
means
Celesteela,
overall power
Cinderace. What else do we have available?
Megazord X.
Megazord X, yeah. I mean, he could go back to his bread and butter with Megazord X and he'd be perfectly fine.
The issue is that he wouldn't be perfectly fine because then he has to drop Venusaur, Leafeon, and probably Marowak, honestly.
And that's the
fix that draft.
process that you move into.
I agree.
We
but,
we didn't change how many waivers you can have.
We
You
didn't.
still got 5. You still got 5 waivers.
But again, we're
By
talking
week
about
6,
we're
this
talking
team
about
is all right.
yeah. By week 6, we're talking about this team as is, and as is, this team is struggling. I do think it's better than the last two, but being locked into Sun when your Sunsetter is Zard Y is just that hurts.
It would be one thing if he could easily fix it or like easily improve the Sun team, but he can't do that, which is why it's going to take more weeks for him to get the team that he wants if he wants to change it. So that's why I don't have a good rating for this team. I would give this like probably a 3.
You consider this worse than the last two?
Yes.
Wow. Okay. Fair enough.
4. I consider it slightly better.
Oh, every team's a 4, huh?
I said 3 for the last two, and this is 4. Fuck you, buddy.
Every team's worse than my team. Wow.
Hey, I'm looking at a solid 10 out of 10 coming up. But hey,
that's weird. I'd put this team at like a 6 with potential to go down when he drops Zard Y to get out of Sun.
and then go back up after a bit.
And then it goes back up to like a 6.
Great Tusk's back is going to get very sore from having to carry this team.
High Dragon's back's gonna get really sore from having to carry this team.
It's already got like a hunch too.
Yeah, right? And it's like, oh, but I have Espeon so I can bounce back the hazards. It's like, you are playing a 50-50 every turn because I'm going to sit there and keep clicking rocks on that Espeon until I die.
The other thing about Charizard is it being a starter Mega means that it does have 115 Spec D. I wonder if that's enough to keep him alive, though.
From what, a Hidden Power Rock?
Just a Moonblast. From Moonblast for the Great Tuscan Hydreigon? Like, this team...
It resists.
Oh, so you're saying, like, it switches in to resist fairy moves.
It's not, like, something has to, right? Like, if your opponent brings a Scarf Moonblast Mon, right?
Venusaur could do that, too.
Alolan Marowak, Suicune. There's Mons.
Yeah.
I think we all agree that this team needs work, though.
Yeah.
Honestly, I might drop my 6 to a 5. Yeah.
So everything's a 5, huh?
I gave 2 4s! I gave 2 4s!
Well... you guys can go ahead and start with the next team.
Yeah,
and then I'll hop in for any questions.
Fernando Prestamon and the Shanghai Sharpedos opening and getting the Iron Bundle, which I think we both had number 1 as like the most anticipated Mon that we expected to get picked first.
I expected it to be picked first because I didn't want this Mon in the league. And I was outvoted at every turn.
But you wanted Blaziken.
But I did want Blaziken, and I got Blaziken.
We'll talk about Blaziken. Nando, we were talking about like just potentially what he could get with Iron Bundle, and Lando T was one that he mentioned. And just the more I thought about it, like, yeah, that's just a good 1-2 punch.
I said in my notes, this is the perfect 2-Mon core. And, there's there's nothing better that you could do with that 2-mon core, I do think.
Yep. And then to follow it up with Galvantula just gives Iron Bundle that much more, like, speed presence compared to the opponents they're going up against.
He will run specs.
So it will become very problematic. Other than that, and anything else to add?
I have a couple of things to add. Why did you pick up Electros?
I think in terms of resistances, especially for what Iron Bundle, like just an Assault Vest Electros is like a perfect, especially considering that I have an already very strong Vault Switch core, like Iron Bundle, Lando, Galvantula, can all just like alt switch in and out, going into an Electros that can just tank something with an AV, especially because that covers the weaknesses of it when it comes to grass and electrics. It's just a great pivot mod, especially this. And I grabbed it early because I think it's just a very, especially in this point reduction draft, like if we go even further into the future with Tyler's draft.
Yeah.
Just like grabbing good mons early, like grabbing low tier mons early, I think was important in this draft, which is why I did grab Gallade.
I mean, I already knew you liked Gallade. I didn't have any questions on that. My issue is I like the Magna Zone, obviously. You trap the steel so that Iron Bundle can click freeze dry, blah, 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 blah. But you have 3 electric types, and you're not bringing 3 of these to a week, I hope.
No.
And
well, here's the thing though. Even if I did bring 3 of them, Electros has no ground weakness. It's just chat.
Yeah, and Galvantula has no ground weakness because it's regular.
Yeah.
But like, I didn't like that aspect of your draft. I probably would have found some other way to do that, but I don't know. I already know you like Trapinch. Sneasel's a great mon at NU pricing.
Sneasel is getting swell.
And that's for...
Really?
For Rigorath.
For Rigorath, yep.
Really?
And why is that?
The highest HP Wish Baton Passer left on the board, and it's an NU. I genuinely think that the ability to just have a little bit of heal, like a cleric on this team, is very effective.
And then you'd be losing your Dark type.
I would be losing my Dark type, yes, but I don't know. I think my boy Mag can.
Well, the thing is, that you've got what, 3 electric types. So
he's not worried about Prankster Thunderwave.
Yeah, that plus with 2 ground types is just like that many more resistances for Iron Bundle to be covered and immunities as well. So, while I usually would have a problem with that many electric types, I think it's correct because the team is centered around it.
The other thing about Rigorath, covers my grass weakness. It has Sapsipper. Yes.
Yeah, but how about just getting Giraffe Rig with any Violite?
Again, for me, it's more the Wish aspect of it. I think the 120 HP Wish will be very helpful, especially considering Iron Bundle's very low HP stat.
Fair enough.
We've also gone this long without talking about Gallade, which is taken at the 3rd round. You were talking about possibly taking it in the 2nd round.
Yes, but I realized that if Ethan was looking at just hard Uhtred stats, and I don't know if he was looking at Gen 7 or whatever, I wasn't going to take that risk. Also, I don't know what Patty would have done. He's always cucked me, and Aaron was a wild card. So
well, with Ferrothorn, Zardex, and Feeny. No, Feeny wasn't available at that point.
Nope.
So
exactly.
With those 2 available, I think you were fine.
Yeah.
I would say this is one of my top 3 teams in the draft.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, fair enough.
Sharpness
I had
is
this
so good.
team outside of the top 5 personally, but I understand that opinion.
I would give it. I feel like an 8.5 is like a lot for just like historically. That's just like one of the best drafts if it were to be an 8.5. But I would give it probably an 8.
What was the best draft ever? Was it Quinn's Sogaleo?
It's Quinn Solgaleo team. Let's not beat around the bush. And then right behind it is my Mega Metagross Zygarde team.
Yeah.
Those are the 2 best drafts in this league.
What was the Tickle, Rillaboom, Zygarde 50%,
Yeah,
and Dracozolt?
And Dracozolt and T-Tar and Mega Gardevoir. Yeah, that's 3.
Yeah. That's why we no longer allow teams to have 3 OUs.
I'm a 10 out of 10, baby.
Yeah,
All right.
I would put this team at a 7.5. With the Ferrothorn, I do think it goes up to an 8.
Alrighty. Mike Burke and the Tennessee Tinkatons.
Tinka Titan.
Tinka Titans. I don't like Meowscarada. I think it's a fucking bad mon.
I think taking it this early was a mistake. However, I do like the team overall.
I can't knock him for taking the mon that he wanted to play with.
Fair.
So I think taking it at 5, even though we personally think there were better things to take. If that was the thing he wanted to play with, I'm not going to knock him for that.
I will knock Chandelure at 4.
No, I'm going to knock him for Keldeo and Snorlax at 2 and 3.
I do not knock the Keldeo, and here's why.
Okay.
Keldeo was a high value pick this draft. I know no one at this table was looking at it, but I heard multiple people talking about Keldeo.
But why? So, is the thought that he took it because it was being talked about?
I think so.
All right, fair enough.
Who's out here? Who's out here spewing these lies?
Me?
These twisted conundrums.
I would never lie. I am not a liar.
These plots.
Did it gain anything? Did I miss anything?
It gained Flip Turn last gen, but it's had Flip Turn for like 2 seasons.
Okay, so then nothing's changed.
Yeah.
The thing is, it got dropped from OUB to BL, and that's what makes it a higher value pick, because now that Urshifu Rapid is an OUA, this is the only water fighting type that has any value.
All right, fair.
He's actually coming out.
I think I still disagree with it at number 2, but...
Okay, don't get me wrong. Number 2 is crazy. Everything in this draft is crazy because Melmetal should have been number 2. I don't know how it fell that far.
It is one of those things you're looking at this team, you're just like, this doesn't see... there's the Melmetal. No, the Melmetal... Yeah, the Melmetal really just kind of...
The Melmetal is the glue for this team. Like, I do think that this team is actually good because that Melmetal saves the draft, and the Electrode is like a decent niche as a light screen reflect explosion mon.
Yeah, I would agree with that on Electrode. I think we're about the rest of the Fairy Steel Dragon Core, Mega Garchomp, and Ribombee.
Mm-hmm.
Ribombee alright because it gets the screens up, but I think Mega Garchomp with those webs is very good, especially with, what's the move that it gets?
Ribombee?
Scale Shot. Scale Shot.
Mega Garchomp.
Scale Shot.
Mega Garchomp with Scale Shot. If it's got webs on top of that, I think that is very hard to outspeed, and then very hard to survive as well.
The thing is, in the past, with Mike's usage of Mega Garchomp, he did not bring Scale Shot for 7 out of 10 weeks, and he brought Special.
I have to assume that he's gonna play with it to get the Scale Shot, right?
I have to hope so. And the thing is, if he brings Scale Shot and Special, I'm fine with it. If he brings Scale Shot and Physical, I'm fine with it. If he brings Special just for 1 week, sure, whatever. But when you go more than half of your split without using the best move on a Mon, you are not using that Mon correctly. It's the exact same conundrum with Mega Kangaskhan and no one bringing Seismic Toss on it. Like, you are just playing the Mon poorly, and you shouldn't draft it if you don't know how to use it.
Yeah, I hope he will play with it, I think, correctly. I think that's what I at least hope to see.
Looking at the draft more, I actually do really like the Snorlax that they got on it. Helps it with the Mega Garchomp and the Melmetal. The problem is, I feel like a lot of this team is going to end up relying almost solely on that Corsola Galarian, like the Galarian Corsola, to not just get obliterated by a strong fighting type mon.
I mean, it also has Chandelure, but yes, I agree.
Yeah, but you know.
Yeah.
So, we'll see. It'll be interesting to see. I mean, okay. Ribombee with the quad can actually take a decent amount of hits. It's very surprising.
And Ribombee did get Roost last gen, so
Ooh, yes.
It does have a purpose.
For sure.
For the record, I have this team at number 5 in my top 5.
Yeah.
Really?
Getting the webs up with the Ribombee is also really good for both the Garchomp
I think
and
that this team has everything it could possibly need.
Yeah, I think it is pretty well rounded. I think that there's just a couple points that would be considered a bit weak, and I think Corsola G is holding the whole team on its back.
Corsola G and Tatsu of all things.
Yeah. So it'll be definitely an interesting team to see.
Yeah.
I think I still don't like it. Maybe it's just the order in which he drafted the Mons, but...
Yeah, I think it's that. Because I'm also looking at Meowscarada, Keldeo, Snorlax. I'm like, what the fuck? But if you do Meowscarada, Melmetal, Mega Garchomp, Snorlax.
Yeah, it just psychologically would make it seem better.
You have to remember
that's what I'm out here doing. I'm
reordering UU Mons in the 3rd, 4th round, and if you just reorder these drafts and stop looking at it in order, and then do your ratings based off of that, then that changes the ratings of a lot of these teams.
Yeah, I think if you go to divisions and then take a look, you're like, yeah, okay, yeah, I can definitely see that. Right? If I go and I look at it in divisions, it's Melmetal, Meowscarada, Mega Garchomp, Keldeo, Snorlax, Chandelure, Corsola G, Ribombee, and I'm like, that
looks like
sick.
A real draft.
I'm like, that is a sick draft. This man hit.
That looks like a real draft. And you look at his draft order and it's Meowscarada, Keldeo, and you're like, this is not a real draft. This is an Ethan Porter draft.
But yeah, no, I mean, But here's the thing, though: if you're able to get all those mons
Then
at the end of the draft,
won.
you still did you did what you wanted to do.
Yeah.
You got everything that you were trying to achieve.
Yeah, I would probably. You guys have convinced me more. I would give him like a 6 out of 10.
I would put this at a 6.5 to a 7. Actually, I give it a 7.
I'm giving it a 7.
Yeah.
Yep.
All
you people are afraid to give out 10s and 1s and shit. I'm giving 10s to the best team. I'm giving a 1 to the worst.
I'm giving
that's how I scale it 1 to 10
I'm giving
works.
a 1 to the worst team. Don't get me wrong.
I'm not out here playing your dumb fucking games.
The worst team is getting a 1 from me, and we'll get there.
Yeah, no, it's coming up in 2 picks. Anyway,
That's crazy. That's insane.
all right. Next up is the Michigan Machamps, back from a brief hiatus, helping us round out our league.
Caltoma.
Caltoma,
Are you cold?
always. Anyway, so he got the third and final ghost type.
Dragapult. Woo.
And he followed it up with Volcanion.
He knew he had to fight Tyler for it. I don't know if I agree with it in second instead of third, but I mean, he went for Orthworm third, and I guess he just really liked that Shedtail aspect, so I can't be too mad about that.
Well, he wanted Grimmsnarl was the big thing. So Espo got Grimmsnarl from him. So he's like, okay, then I'll take
steal his
Volcanion.
Volcanion in response, yeah.
But what I'm saying is, like, you could
And
wait.
then he-
You could wait on Volcanion, I think. Maybe like a round or two.
I don't
but-
think Volcanion's
like
bad
6.
with the Dragapult, I will say.
Okay.
Or with Orthworm.
Paired
for
with
that
the
matter.
Orthworm, I think it's good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I see what Cal was going for with trying to get the Grimmsnarl, but he obviously didn't get that, and he has the team that he has right now. But he replaced that fairy type with
He replaced it with Alola
Alola
Ninetales, which I think
Ninetales.
still does its job.
Yes, absolutely.
And with the anticipated waiver that we're expecting, he will be dropping Lilligant for Arctizolt, which makes the team
into like
so
an
much.
actual team, right? Giving it a potential snow sweeper.
And now
Yes.
he's playing
There we
Weather
go.
Wars with other weather teams.
Yes.
Which, honestly, that is the way to beat a lot of these weather teams, is to beat them at their own weather game. Especially now that hail is actually good.
Snow.
Yeah, sorry, snow.
Yeah.
What I will say is I like the Nihilego a lot with Orthworm. I did not like the Rhyperior following that.
Yeah, I feel like the Rhyperior doesn't really achieve that much on this draft. If anything, I would have... What would I have liked? I actually might have liked to have seen a flying type on this team. Drifblim does not count.
Drifblim does not count.
do not
No,
talk to me.
you're right. Drifblim does not count.
But I do think, in overall, like the first 5 picks makes a very, very solid core for our team. Dragapult, Volcanion, Earthworm, Ninetales, Alolan, and Nihilego covers almost every aspect that you want covered.
I think what this team is missing for me, and obviously the Arctozolt helps, but a really strong physical presence. Because yeah, you can run the physical pult, but like that's not what it's best at.
But I know, but my thing is that if you have a Dragapult, right, behind Aurora Veil, and then you can
DD.
Shedtail it, that bitch can DD 3 times before getting hit.
Yeah, absolutely. But again, it's a matter of you have to set all of that up, and that means that you have to bring those mons, and that's
Yes.
not always the best play.
Of course. And there's always like Roar or Whirlwind or Defog. There's a bunch of different things that can get
I'm
in here.
pretty sure Dragapult gets taunts. Someone might have to fact check me on that.
I think it does.
Yeah. So that's also an
Really?
aspect.
That's wild.
I'll confirm it.
I got it.
There was one thing that I noted is once he picks up the Arctizolt, he will now have a times 64 weakness to fighting
Yes.
with 2 immunities. 1 immunity, because Drifblim doesn't count. And, and that leaves Dragapult, so if any fighting type is being sent in to do any damage that could cause problems for the team, he's got to go to Dragapult. And most fighting types are usually carrying some sort of knockoff or other dark type move
This
that can
bitch does
hurt
not get
Dragapult.
taunt. Y'all are
And-
high as fuck.
My bad.
What is also funny to note is on Cal's schedule is he faces Thomas, who has Megalopony, which doesn't care about ghost types.
Thomas
So-
is laughing in the background.
Tom's
right now.
like, haha, CC, baby!
Thomas had not looked at his schedule at all. Now he just knows I'm bringing Megalop this game.
But in all seriousness, like that is, I think, a very glaring issue. I think weaknesses like that aren't as bad as, like, say, like a times 64 rock weakness.
Yes.
But
Or
fighting,
a times 512 ground weakness. We'll get there.
but fighting attackers.
Wait a second.
We'll get
Who
there.
Oh, come on.
We'll
that
get
shit
there.
doesn't... I mean, it kind of counts. But it doesn't count. Anyway. Okay, yeah.
But I think fighting types pose a very serious threat to this team, and then I think Cal's going to have to prepare accordingly.
Hey, nice. Loaded dice.
What else do I have of note? Oh, loaded dice right here. Ooh. I don't know. I think that The Amapama is really strong, by the way, because Technician Loaded Dice obviously is a very strong combo. I do think it's currently better than Chinchino. I just didn't remember to do that for tier shifts.
We'll get to it next year.
Yeah. I don't like the Obstagoon on this team as well. So Obstagoon, Rhyperior, and Lilligant go, and I think this team is actually not terrible.
Is Obstagoon at UU?
Obstagoon is UU.
Waiver
I
he's
would
making?
probably...
Oh yeah, we already talked about it.
Yeah.
I'd probably try and find a... I think that team... What I would want on that team, especially behind like all the Shed Tail shenanigans, is just like a mon that is just like CB and just comes in and just hit.
Yeah.
Like only purpose hit. Hit good. Hit hard. But we'll see. Alright. Next up.
How do we want to read it?
Right. Yeah. With or without Arctozalt, because that bumps
Without.
Tiers.
Oh, without?
Without. Because we've been doing that without for everyone else.
Oh, I've been kind of keeping those in the back. Like how easily they can edit their team. That one edit makes their team much better, right?
Much better is subjective, but sure. It helps a lot.
But that's the thing, though. Like, that's a mon behind the Aurora Veil.
Yeah, but then it fucks up that fighting weakness so much more.
It doesn't matter. I'm gonna click Bolt Beak. Bolt Beak.
Just gotta be faster, my boy.
Bolt Beak.
Man.
Again, the thing about Arctozalt is still like, while that fighting weakness exists for like an Arctozalt, right? You got that 1.5 defense. You got the snow buffer. The snow buffer behind screens, my guy.
Is that gonna help you live a Mega Lopunny close combat? Like, let's be realistic here.
You're about to be real sad when I show you this count.
Not including the Veil, obviously, because that's
not including the Veil.
That's a whole different answer.
Sure. Anyway, I'd give this team currently, probably a 5, and then I'd say when it gets the Arctozalt, I'd move it up to like a 6 or 7. Yeah,
6, move it up to an 8 when it gets the Arctozalt.
I'm just putting it at 6.
Yeah. Alright, moving forward, we have me, Paisan, Segan, Portland Tailblazers. Go ahead.
Worst team in the thing. I already said it, man.
Go ahead.
I already said it.
Go ahead. State your opinions.
I took a little bit of a look, given that I played in week 2.
Thanks for that knowledge.
Blaziken, Tapu
I learned
Fini
something new today.
is nice. Do you have any Hexmons to go with Glamora?
Nope.
But you're getting rid of that,
I'm
right?
dropping Glamora.
Yeah, so Glamora is going to be dropped for Gengar. What does that do for this team? Well, it gives you a ghost type.
My thing is, I don't think that Toxic Spikes are good on a team with Fini. So I didn't consider that when I did my draft because I originally had Ferrothorn.
Oh, yeah, somebody did point that out, and...
Post combat does 92 to 1 on, but you're also bad.
Fair enough.
That is a shame that it does
And
send Glamora
Bolt Beak does 90 to 1
into the waivers. Well, so tell me about Go-Goat.
So I drafted Go-Goat really early on because I was thinking with Ting Lu and Fini, I really needed a Sap Supermon, and I went to highest value. What mon is the highest value Sap Supermon? Yeah, whatever. I went.
You forgot about.
I didn't forget. I don't care.
out here.
I didn't forget about that. I didn't forget about Stanley. I don't care.
It's got Eviolite now.
I don't care. And then I picked up Superior afterwards because I was like, oh yeah, Superior's a strong special attacker that I need. But I forgot I still had Go-Go so early on in this draft. So one of those will be dropped at some point. I don't know which one. I will get there when I get there. I'm currently focused on the Gengar aspect and then the week 2 waiver that I'm not revealing quite yet.
So we have the council member here with us that pushed for Blaziken to be unbanned.
It's true.
And then also proceeded to first round said unbanned mon.
It is not my fault that this mon was not first picked in the 6 people before me. It's not my fault.
I think I had this going number 2 overall.
I had this going number 3 overall.
I had to grab Iron Balls.
I don't because that was the number 1.
That was number 1. I don't know why Patty took Great Tusk at 3. I don't know why Mike took Nesrata at 5. Was it 5?
5, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what happened between those two, but it let me get Blaziken. I didn't want Blaziken.
But this would be an interesting thing. So what's your hazard remover right now? You got Defog on Fini, right?
Defog on Fini.
And you have Mortal Spin.
I have Mortal Spin, but that's dropped, and I have Cryogonal.
Oh, Cryogonal is actually easily the best hazard control mon, so you won't have any problems getting the Sash Blaziken in, probably. And now it's just a question of, is Blaziken
strong enough?
Good enough.
Because currently Blaziken is my premier attacker, obviously.
Because you have to run both Protect.
I don't have to run Protect.
Sure. But you do have to run SD.
I don't have to run SD.
Yes, you do.
I don't.
There is in no world that... What's Blaziken's attacks at? 120? 110?
125, I think. Let me confirm.
That this mon can do enough work, considering that Oh, wait. Good old Garchomp, huh? Arachnid webs, huh?
Yes.
120.
And now you're seeing all of the things in this team.
And then the best thing
together.
about the Arachnid webs is that you can use it on a Magic Bounce Mon to boost your own superior.
Yes. You're seeing where all of the toys in this team come to play.
It's 120 attack, but 110 Spec A.
And that is why I don't need to use SD.
The other thing is, you guys were talking about sticky webs. Isn't this just Scolipede plus Orbeetle, but with better toys around it?
Yes.
Yeah.
And again, that is why I really dislike that team, because I think that team is just objectively worse than my own.
Ooh.
And yeah, I'm throwing around
Quinn,
the O word.
Quinn, fighting words? He's out here saying that his team is just straight better than Aaron's in every way. I don't got the energy.
Yeah, you're gonna see
this.
what I have to say about your team, Quinn, and then what'll happen.
Yeah, you're taking fights.
I will say, just final notes. I don't think that there is a wasted mon on this team. However, I wouldn't have drafted Glamora knowing what I know now, and I wouldn't have drafted Heliolisk as early as I did if I didn't need a dry skin mon.
Yeah, I think the only one that's... I mean, technically Go-Go serves a purpose, but that's, I think, the most wasted.
Yeah.
Yeah, I overall, I like the team. Your weaknesses are covered pretty well. I would give this a 7 out of 10.
God, I would never be any Ting Luin's guard.
Indeed.
God, that's such a fucking pain in the ass to do.
Indeed.
Indeed.
Indeed. I do think the one thing about this team that has I do think that if you get into, the long fight with someone else...
No.
It's just dragon moves.
Yeah, it doesn't boost fairy moves.
Which does hurt Garchomp, but not really, because I'm not running dragon moves on Garchomp.
Garchomp out here clicking Stealth Rock spikes, and then it's like, butt your head against me. I'm tough. Rocky helmet with the... What's the ability called?
Rough skin.
Rough skin? Yeah. My thing is just, I do think that if you get into, a long fight with someone else where both players are playing, semi-stall and just, chipping at one another, this team has no recovery, right?
No real recovery.
Yeah,
yes.
no real recovery or anything. Feeney's recovery is
Training kiss.
Unless you're Dan Keys.
Yeah, unless you cheat, Daniel.
Ting Lu has no recovery. Also, that's the other thing. His only recovery that he has access to is rest, which you can't use because of the terrain. Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see if you can chip someone down fast enough for the Blaziken to win, or if they'll chip you down fast enough to just kind of sweep your team.
Yeah, my biggest concern on this team is if someone can stack hazards before I can stack hazards and priority beat me, then I don't have a way around that.
Yeah,
I just have to outplay them, and that's what I'm going into this split with.
So I would say in 8, Blaziken is good. Yep.
I would give myself a 7. I am not in my top 5 teams, by the way.
Neat.
Okay.
Next up, we got the terrain.
Schlam Schwanson.
We got the future.
The Minnesota Vikings.
The future is here, gentlemen.
This is the best Fairy Steel Dragon Core. This is one that I had on my list of, if I get Tapu Koko, I'm immediately taking an Iron Treads, and then for my third pick, I'm taking Megalodios. Yes. He was able to get Megalodios in, the 6th round?
Yep.
And then he was able to follow it up with Iron Jugulus. And to end the draft with the 2 Iron Mons in Hands and Thorn, yeah.
I do not.
Hands make you dance.
I'm playing in week 1, some of those Hands calcs, that Mon can't die, and then you're like, oh, well, a lot of, the thick Mons that can't die can't really hit. It has 140 attack with the fucking terrain boost.
Yep.
It hits back, and it slurps back with Drain Punch. Yep. I already know what Python's about to say. Oh, infant ground weaknesses.
It is.
But
this is the highest a weakness has ever been coming out of a draft.
Yeah, one of them is...
512,
Here's the thing. So, times 4 of that is from Toga to fucking Maru. One of them's from Crocolore, which I don't even think is a real Mon. Rhydon, which, sure. But, the Iron Jugulus, the Ninjask
is not showing up in this. If he brings Ninjask to a single game, I will be stunned.
I think it's the fact that he could bring.
Dude, Ninjask...
I'm not... If I ever face one, I'm not prepping for a Ninjask.
Ninjask coming in and baton passing +6 speeds to the Iron Hands and then just being like, haha.
In what world is it getting to +6?
Protect sub.
Man, if you can't beat that shit, then you deserve to lose. You deserve to lose to the Iron Treads, man.
I don't know. It has this thing. It's basically an uncontested electric terrain draft, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
The only thing that could be better is like, where's Sceptile? Are you?
No, it's
NU.
or regular. Regular's
Regular Sceptile
you?
is NU.
There's no way it's NU.
What?
There's simply no way we're that stupid.
No, it's NU.
We are the dumbest people alive, gentlemen.
How the fuck did we let that happen? Ben?
I didn't see it until after the tier shifts.
Imagine if, like, instead of a Ninjask, right, you grab the Sceptile. Then.
He would have had to fight really...
I'm honestly surprised
That's what I mean.
Sceptile
Instead
didn't.
of Ninjask, Sceptile.
Yeah.
Sceptile going in the 6th round, I thought was too late. That should have been gone in like the 4th or 5th, maybe the 3rd round, honestly.
No.
If you have a terrain draft that's built around that, absolutely.
If it's NU,
if you 3rd round an NU, I don't care what that NU is, you're smoking drugs.
Does Ethan do drugs?
Ethan does so much drugs. Have you seen Ethan?
he's on the corner asking
He's
for some
constantly on copium.
I don't know. I think it's an uncontested electric terrain team. Like, it has all the speed that you could possibly need. It has all the attack that you could possibly need. It is tanky as fuck, honestly. Like, Megalodios plus Iron Hands is a core that pretty much nothing can break.
Yep.
Like, the weakest thing that this team to is fairy types, and then you have, like, an Iron Treads that can come in and just tank something.
Or
You know,
Godheads,
your boy
but yeah.
Togedemaru.
Yeah, he's not bringing Togedemaru.
That's the thing.
That's
like,
what I say.
The
I
thing
would
is,
say,
you're looking at these low tier picks like, oh yeah, these stop the things. It's like, no, he's not bringing these. He's not bringing Togedemaru.
Well, I know, but I'm saying that, like, in terms of, like, oh, yeah, he has... Say, okay, so every week, right? Let's just say every week, it's Tapu Koko, the 4 Iron Mons, and then Megalodios, right?
Right.
4 Mons are weak to ground, 2 Mons are immune to ground.
Yeah.
But, like, that core overall is already a bitch to deal with.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a massive bitch
Can
to
I get this
deal
out the
with.
way? This is my number 1 team in the draft. I agree with you on all of these points. I'm just pointing out that he's not bringing these bottom 4 Mons. You know what you're playing
Of course
against.
he's not bringing the bottom
you
4
know
Mons.
every single time you play this team, you know the 6 Mons he's bringing because he can't afford to bring anything else because that is how powerful that 6 Mon core is.
Iron Hands should be OEB.
Maybe.
Well, we'll see.
We'll see.
I would give this team a 9.
This team is a 10 on this split.
10 on this split, but my scale is just like, you have to consider
If
scaled
I'm-
down
if I'm-
to all the other splits.
If I'm considering, the broken splits where we have Uber Mons, sure, this team is a 9, but
I don't
I'm
think
not.
this is a perfect team, though.
It's the fact that
No,
there's-
it's not.
Then I wouldn't give it a 10.
But it's the best team in the league. 1 is the worst team in the league, 10 is the best
Okay,
team in the league.
I understand, but that's, I guess, we're not...
I already gave out my 10. This is a 9.
Yeah.
No, I would say that if Rhydon, Crocodile, and Togedemaru were actually just better Mons in any way and format, like if even one of those was a Sceptile, this would probably be one of the best teams that we've seen.
Yeah, is there any unburdened Mons low tier that he could pick up?
Not really.
Fair enough. 'Cause he
Croc
took
is
it.
fine. If anything...
Croc
just-
is dog shit. He saw it on a fucking Blunder video or Pokemon video, and he was like, I gotta draft it now.
That was genuinely the thought process there.
You think this man...
Crocodile is not fine.
Honestly, I'm surprised he didn't draft Machamp.
Probably
Probably has a bit of
Machamp.
PTSD from it.
After getting destroyed by the Machamp. Hashtag trolled.
There's gotta be a
God,
better
that's so
NU than
cool.
Togedemaru, right? He'll find something.
Alright, and going from what I think is the best team in the league at the moment to what I think is the worst team in the league at the moment. We have Alex
Spoilers,
Budke and the, what is that, Green Bay Polytoads?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm just going to say it outright. I think this is the worst team in the draft.
He's got a sand mode to it, but a team that's relying on Quack to do all the work is not... I don't think it's the right team for that. Ferrothorn gives it some support, but like Quack is... It's either sweeping or it's getting, like, what, 1 kill?
It could get 2 kills. The thing is,
it doesn't
clock
have
sweep can happen, but if it happens to you and this team has no offense to it, like, yeah, you could say, like, oh, it has the Stoutland and the Thwacky. It's like, but, like, those aren't actual threats. Those are NU threats.
Mhm.
Like, if you lose to this team because Quack swept you, that is, you should have been able to see that coming.
Yeah. Yeah.
CBI was a Quack is a...
Quack...
It is the only way
Oh.
you can go.
The
Yeah.
other problem was, by adding Tyranitar to the team, you've just removed your possibility of running the Focus Sash set. So you just lose that.
Sure.
Does Gliscor even get defog?
Gliscor does get defog, yeah.
Okay, because that's the only thing he has, right?
The thing is, this team...
That's the only thing he has. That's his only hazard control on this team.
He went the clock Ferrothorn, and I was sitting there like, this guy's going Rain. This motherfucker's gonna draft Rain. And then he went T-Tar third. And I was just like, okay.
I genuinely don't understand the T-Tar. It has counter synergy with almost everything on the team. You can grab the Seismitoad later on, too.
Yeah, and it's just like... Because he also has the Seismitoad on this team. This is a Rain team with the T-Tar.
Okay.
But that's the thing, though. I don't even think changing the T-Tar to, like, a Pelipper would save this...
It wouldn't, because there needs to be more things that need to be done to save this
Palmon
team.
has Volt Absorb.
That's an ability?
Yes. It has Volt Absorb and Iron Fist.
Yeah, no. Palm might be on.
Oh, also, Quackaball has Rapid Spin, but the problem is he would have to run Rapid Spin.
He would have to run Rapid Spin, yes.
It also has Natural Cure.
And obviously, Palmot does not have Revival Blessing. The only real attackers on this team are Quackable, Typhlosion, barely. I don't consider Guard an attacker.
I mean, I consider Palmot an attacker. The thing about Palmot that you have to remember is that it is 115 attack, 105 speed, electric fighting.
Yeah.
Amazing typing. The only problem is that it's sharing one of its coverages with Quackable.
Yes.
Like, it has CC along with Quack's CC.
Yeah.
So you're stuck on only being able to click one, like, because you're not bringing Thunder Punch.
And you honestly want
to bring Double Shock, right?
And the thing is, with this one, you want to bring Volt Absorb to help Quack, because you need Quack
Which
to
means
win.
that you're losing on the Iron Fist when it comes to all of its, to like Mach Punch and its fist moves. The team just has no coherence at all, which he did come in without a list, and he was the guy plugging all the mons into the sheet, so he was definitely,
So wait, wouldn't
running out of time.
Wouldn't swapping Tyranitar just straight for its mascot, Politoad, just make this list better? Because he's already got Seismitoad on here.
I would 100% go Plurp every time. I think Plurp is just so much better.
I think Plurp is better on this team because he has the Quack.
But mascot.
Yeah.
Sure, but like...
No, I say what you mean.
Yeah, but like Pelipper, like you swap in Pelipper, you get rid of Typhlosion.
Yeah, exactly.
And then, I don't know, you can get rid of the Stoutland. No one cares. And he's
good.
Might have an all-right team. The problem at that point is that
it takes too much time to do.
Well, no, it's not only that. I think the team just dies on the special side.
I mean, he would have to pick up Kingdra at some point.
Kingdra's already taken.
Well,
Kingdra's taken.
Yeah. Wait, who took it? Oh, yeah, Arian took it.
Arian took it.
Oh, shit.
No joke, I think the problem is that if this team runs into rain, it's going to get wiped by a hurricane. Just straight down the line.
Yeah.
So it just turns into the situation of, I don't know... like, with 5 waivers, anything's possible. Pyson's shown that. He's went from worst to, like, second best in, like, 5 weeks.
So the problem that Alex is going to have is finding ways to get wins if he decides to make waivers and changes to his team in the process.
Yeah. I don't know. As of currently, this team is the 1.
1.
Yeah.
I'd give it a 2. 2 because there's potential, but still, like, it's a lot.
That's because the worst team ever drafted in the league was Alolan Persian first.
Yeah, Alolan Persian
shut
first.
up.
And honestly, this team might have been worse than Alolan Persian first. I'm sorry.
I mean, if it was the worst team, I'd give it a 0. Like, ever. 0 out of 10.
Really?
Yeah.
This is a really bad team. And yeah, now that I know Alex was running everything and he did not have any time, I can very clearly see that in the draft.
Come in with the list.
I can very clearly see in this draft he did not have a plan.
No, yeah. But that's the thing, though. I never.
Speaking of people without
yet
plans,
again, I do it again, baby.
Hey man, you're like 3rd best on my list.
Brendan Tickle and the Los Angeles Lake Spirits. Brendan himself just did a phenomenal job drafting this team.
Yeah,
you
honestly,
can tell that it was all his work getting this team put together, and it really shows when you look at the 11.
Brendan, what do you think about your team? Is it good? Quoted. Obviously, this has some staple picks. Shout out to Fernando for helping Brendan pick out this team. You have the standard Aggron that is on every Brendan Tickle team. You have the standard Earth Ring. You have
Tentacruel.
The standard Tentacruel. Well, that's not a standard. Starmie's a standard.
I know Cerulege has never been drafted before, but Cerulege also just feels like such a Tickle mod.
Rillaboom is a standard. I like the Hitmonlee Diancie on this team a lot.
Yeah. That was one thing. Once Swan actually picked up Iron Hands and I was looking at some of those calcs, I do think Hitmonlee for Iron Hands is better. I like Iron Hands on the team a little bit more.
Yeah.
Especially with the Cerulege. I think that, like, don't get me wrong, they're all physical mons, but, like, when you're attacking with that much power, I don't care what wall you have, it will die.
Yeah. Obviously, the issue that Tickle does have to take in mind is that Rillaboom was nerfed twice. Once on Grassy Terrain side and once on Grassy
Icy
Glide side.
What?
Grassy Glide went down by 10 BP.
Yeah, Grassy Glide went down by 10, but the Grassy Terrain nerf was applied the last time he had Rose.
Yes,
So
yes.
that one isn't really anything. I think the bigger one to watch out for is the Ice Spinner. Because Ice
True.
Spinner is always the thing that, with all the terrain teams, if you can click Ice Spinner on something, you get rid of the terrain, a lot of teams can end up struggling with that, especially,
His team a lot less so because he's
Grassy.
not reliant on it like Swan is. But
Oh, yeah, no. The only mon that really relies on it is the Hitmonlee, right?
Mhm.
Every other mon obviously enjoys having grassy terrain up, like Ceruledge, Mega Diancie, Klefki, and Tentacruel. They all like having that up.
Right.
The one thing that you should remember when you start to do calcs is that people will bring Stomping Tantrum and stuff. Stomping Tantrum got a lot of widespread, so instead of like getting hit by a 50 base power move, in half, you're instead just getting hit by 75.
Mhm.
So you have to keep those in mind when you come to calcs. But I do think that overall it has just a very solid offensive core, right? With the Rillaboom, Ceruledge, Hitmonlee, Mega Diancie, and then a very strong defensive core of Key Tentacruel, Goodra, and just Eviolite Ursaring nowadays.
I wouldn't call that a defensive core as much as a versatile.
Yeah,
it's a core that does a lot of things.
Yes. It's not like hard defense, it's not like hard wall or switching or anything, but they can all just help support the whole team.
The other thing
which
our
is
builders
awesome.
need to remember is that Ursaring now has access to Eviolite this gen. You have to be aware of that when you're running your calcs, because if you don't, you play close combat thinking you're going to kill, you do 40%, and you get Trailblaze done, you're going to get fucked.
Yep. And there's also good old Massacring for webs at the bottom there.
Mhm.
Yep.
I don't know, I think it's just another, I did a bit better on myself. 9 out of 10.
I have this team as an 8.5 out of 10. I think it is fourth best team in the league.
Nice.
To remind everyone, I have Swan and Nando in the top 2.
I would give it a 7.5.
I also had Mike in the top 3.
Man, I don't think this guy's given like a whole number this whole time.
No, he definitely has not.
The last, 7? Yeah, the last 7 have been whole numbers.
Alright, we got to talk about Thomas the Body Shihan, who's currently occupying the entire living room. Quinn and Jojo are just pushed out because of his immense body.
He is currently on the sheet as the Body Sheehan because Thomas couldn't fit in.
This is also that 3-mon offensive powerhouse of
But
the
it's
league.
better than Tickles.
Number 1 team every year.
It's such a fast team, and then it has priority Whimsicott at the 5th pick. It's the first 4 mons hit so hard,
Yep.
and then he's got just everything else to kind of fill in the spots afterward.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I do believe this is the first time Blastoise has been drafted after getting Shell Smash.
Yes?
Yeah, and it's still at UU.
Yep.
Yep.
Because we haven't seen it yet, so we had no merit to base it off of. So I'm very curious to see what that mon does this split.
A Shell Smash sweep would be fucking hilarious.
Shell Smash Sweep!
And he also has the Cloth, if you want to keep that in mind for Anger Shell. Not that I think that will ever happen, but
I think it's going to be used more as Regenerator than anything.
yeah.
Yeah, regenerative cloth switching. That's the thing that kind of makes me look at the Tyrantrum and be like, don't really see the purpose on the team, both the Tyrantrum and the Zard, but like everything else always has a purpose. Like the Bisharp with Eviolite now is incredibly tanky.
Yeah, Bishop's another mon with that EV light buff.
Yep, and like the Whimsicott and Nidoqueen help take care of like the fighting like weakness that some of the top ones have. The biggest issue right now is just looking at the team is that there is a pretty obvious like ground weakness in my opinion. Honestly, he doesn't have a good switch in. Like Whimsicott is not taking EQs. It's just not.
It is taking 30 from most EQs. So.
Yeah, but like when you're coming out with a mon that's trying to like blow through a team, it's not
Right.
really going to be the
Absolutely.
thing that helps out, right? Like you can maybe switch in and then hope that it's not a ground type so that you.
And you don't want to
Stun
bring
Spore or
Charizard
whatever.
to be an immunity because
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
a wasted slot.
So I think that there are some changes that can be made at the bottom if you swap out Tyrantrum and Zard or something to help
Yeah.
like, round out the team a little bit. But in terms of like, I don't have anything that's going to stop this Megalop from just you turning into a Zeraora that's going to Volt Switch into a Blacephalon and then click Shadow Ball on my team till it's gone.
Yeah, I'm stunned that Mega Lopunny and Blacephalon made it this far down the draft. But
Now, this is not me saying that Tyrantrum is, like, a bad dragon, but I feel like he was scraping for a dragon near the end. If there was a way that he could switch out to get just, like, probably a dragon that better fits with this team, I think, or better complements the team, I think that would benefit this team greatly. It's just a matter of like, what do you drop to try to get something like that?
I had that same thought, and I had an answer, and that answer was Drudigan. I think Drudigan would have fit this team very well.
Drudigan at RU, yeah. It's very bulky too, so.
Drudigan is RU.
It's RU, yeah.
No.
Dreadnought. Dreadnought got moved up.
Yeah.
Because of the real Shell Smash. Shell Smash.
We got Shell Smash?
Why do you think we moved it up?
What?
Dreadnought? Yeah.
You voted
No,
on this.
Drudigan.
No,
No.
Dreadnought gets moved.
Oh, Dreadnought, yeah, I knew that.
Dreadnought got
Oh
moved
my.
up.
I literally
Drudigan
said
got Shell-
Drudigan got Shell Smash, and you're like, yeah!
No,
Yeah.
we're all saying the same
No.
words. Anyway.
I'm going back to the audio after this.
I'm going back to the audio.
Of course.
Man, they're putting me in the fucking gulag. This is bullshit.
That
But
was
yeah.
my only other
He's
note.
gotta work the mines.
The children yearn for the mines.
All Minecraft has shown me is that the children, they yearn for the mines.
But yeah, great team. I don't know. I was definitely in the top half of this draft. I wouldn't put it in the top 5 quite because it does have that ground weakness, but top half for sure.
6.
I'd give it a 7.
7.5, 8.
Quinn Shaper, another former house member who abandoned us.
0! All worst draft ever! No. Great team. The King Gambit Slitherwing was a really solid 2. I don't know if I would have taken it this early, and that's where I'm hesitating a little bit. But I do like that core a lot. And obviously, knowing that you're in the back half of this draft and that there's mons that will be taken from you, you take what you can get.
You see what the 12th pick? Yeah. Tough spot to be in, but
It is objectively the worst spot to be in.
12th or
draft.
11th, yeah.
Yeah.
It sucks.
10 through 12, honestly.
Yeah. Florges is the best grass type for this team.
God, why is Floor just not a grass type? But yeah, no, King Gambit has always, at least on the ladder, shown to be like a very solid endgame killer.
Mhm.
It always turns into the situation of like, it's the strongest sucker punch game mon in the game.
Right.
It'll be interesting to see if Quinn brings some fancy stuff, like actually bring a substitute, because I don't think a single King ladder has brought sub or anything like that.
Right.
So there's a lot more options that you can do here. He was looking to try and get some other mons in the draft, so I know that he had to switch up his draft a little bit. So the King Gambit was supposed to have a bit more support, I believe. But right now, as it is, it's just the value that a King Gambit
mon
has.
sits in the
Like,
back.
it will hit potentially, right? Slitherwing, I think, was honestly just an incredibly strong pick. It's 135 attack on 95 speed or something. Like
87.
87? Still.
But,
But
first
Trailblaze
impression-
and Flame Charge access.
Trailblaze,
makes
Flame
it
Charge,
fun.
First Impression.
Yeah.
One of the strongest, I think the strongest unit in the game, other than like Mega Beedrill or something.
Mega Beedrill beats it out, but that's about it.
Yeah, but
Banded
like the
low
fact
kicks
that.
can help with resistances, but yeah, I don't
Yeah,
think it really
but like
catches
that's the
up.
thing
yeah.
though. Compared to Mega Beedrill, actually, no, yeah. Adaptability still beats out the choice band by a bit, right? Because if the math works,
Yeah.
adaptability is 2, but it should technically be 2.25.
But you get an item with Slitherwing.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And-
Yeah.
You know, your close combats are hitting like an absolute.
Yeah.
And obviously,
truck.
when it comes down to the Mega Beedrill first Slitherwing matchup, yeah, Mega Beedrill's fast, but Slitherwing is faster because it has first impression.
Yeah, exactly. And that CB first impression.
It's going to hit like a truck.
I do think that Life Orb is very good on it. You have Mega Alakazam for like the final speed, all the spec in the world. And then, I don't know. I don't like Tinkaton.
And that's crazy because
Fucking
for
hate
the
Tinkaton.
the tier that it's in, Tinkaton is a high value pick. And Quinn has told me multiple times, Tinkaton is what he wants most in this draft. So,
Does Slitherwing does it get acrobatics?
Yes.
So acrobatics with booster energy is also another.
Oh,
thing
it
as
has
well.
so many potential sets. It's just always.
I think I
acrobatics-
regret not taking it.
Yeah,
'Cause
you
I had the
acrobatics
opportunity
on the Jolly set, and you
boost.
flame charge once, and that's it.
you don't even need the Flame Charge if you're getting the speed boost off of booster energy.
Yeah.
you
Well,
can just
I don't
let
think
all
you can.
Yeah, you can.
You
'Cause I've done
can't.
it.
Oh yeah, you have to.
You have to go a little bit
can't
minus
be
into attack.
252.
but-
Yeah, you have to be like 200 or something.
Also, the other
Bulk up.
thing that I do like, and this is more of a personal preference, but what a lot of people consider when they're building for teams is they consider how they can win in the late game or how they can beat them out in the early game. Quinn can kind of do all three, including the mid game, because Slitherwing and King Gambit obviously control that early and late game.
Yeah.
And then Mega Zam controls the mid game by just that constant presence.
Yeah.
In my notes, I put that Quinn, Mike, and Tickle all drafted the same team with their own flares to it. So obviously Quinn's the bulky one between the three, Tickle's the offensive one between the three, and Mike is the bounce. And of those three, Tickle's my favorite, but Quinn is a close second.
Yeah, I think it gets everything done. You have Flygon for all the support stuff too. Milotic has, your solid wall flip turn.
I would say Milotic Moltres is going to put in a lot of work for this team this season.
Oh yeah, especially on the defense. It helps covers all the weaknesses of the King.
And if there's ever a week where he doesn't want to bring one of those, he can bring Tauros Paldea instead, because it's fire and water.
Yep, fire, water.
Intimidate.
Golurk being, a doubling is always in the back. You can click the stuff from you come in and just...
Well, it makes it so that you don't have to bring
Dynamic
Flygon as your ground type.
Exactly.
If you want to opt for that,
And Mr. Rhyme is great hazard control.
Yep, this team definitely has a little bit of everything. I know that there are some waivers coming in potentially.
Yeah.
And I think that this team can only get scary.
Because there's a lot of power still on the board. Ratings? I had this at an 8.
I also had it.
7.
7. Fair enough.
Okay.
Alright.
Tyler Esposito, or Espo, from the Hartford Whalers. Opening with Corviknight.
UU winning champion.
Yes, of course. Opening with Corviknight.
Yeah, don't like that. Don't like Grimmsnarl second either.
Yeah, he definitely went with it was a point reduction draft, so I'm going to save my OUAs for the end, and I'm just going to try and grab value as early as I can get. Corviknight without body press, obviously everyone's been talking about that.
Yep.
It has dropped a lot in its potential. It's still a Corv.
It's still the best steel defensive mon.
Fucking annoying it is to kill a Corviknight, right?
Yeah. And that is also his signature mon. I think he's picked it up in just about every split he's been in.
Yeah. Yep. Grimmsnarl with Parting Shot is always really good. My problem is that when I have the Grimmsnarl, right, that can set up all the screens and then Parting Shot, I want a mon that can really set up in it.
Yes.
Are you clicking DT Tar?
You have to. Or you're clicking Trailblaze with Luxray. But that is a Luxray.
Yeah, the Luxray, for the meme is good and all that. There's no one at the door, unless John got fucking DoorDash. But it is just, this team, it's just so thick, but the power is coming from, a Tapu Lele and an offensive Megatar and, an offensive Metagross, but, how is he killing someone? Sceptile can't do all the work. Sceptile can try. Sceptile can try, but the problem is that you're not setting up your Sceptile behind the screens in the Parting Shot, because you need terrain up.
Yeah.
At that point, we're looking at 4 turns or something, right?
Yeah.
Just to get the single Unburden proc. You're looking at the situation where this team just can't really kill a team.
Friend of the pod. Twin Shaper,
Go
welcome
ahead.
to the table.
I actually disagree because I think this draft is the best example of a draft that is looking to just slowly kill you over the course of 40 turns.
Okay.
And everything on this team can actually hit you for decent damage.
Mm-hmm.
And then by the end, Tapu sweeps. And
Right.
Just pretty easy.
Sounds good. But my problem with it is that, if you look at the mons that can potentially hit a little bit, like the Inteleon or the Heracross or the Swallow, is that those mons can just get chipped back, right? Nothing is especially tanky on the team. Every single mon on the team is balanced. That's why Quinn came in with his slow-moving offense, which is what this team is. But I just don't see it actually being able to chip down and break down a team fast enough.
Nano, can I ask you something?
Yeah.
If this was Megazord X instead of Mega T-Tar, do you change your mind?
Yes.
Cool. I think that's the easiest waiver to make in the book.
I also think Grimmsnarl add to you.
Oh, of course.
Absolutely.
And then those other first can probably is there besides those reflex.
I know, but what I'm saying is that
He's saying he doesn't
there's
have
a lot of
a
situations without having a proper abuser that can set up on the turn that your opponent uses Defog or Brick Break or Psychic Fangs or something. I don't think you're getting the full value of a Grimmsnarl.
I don't think most.
Oh yeah, but that's the thing. It's Lele
just
is
Lele.
the
But
one thing.
Swallow.
I don't consider Swallow as a
Heracross?
Heracross. I can
Heracross
see.
is a
CB Heracross with
Heracross I can see
CC
with a
and stuff.
Moxie.
Yeah.
That one I can see.
I still just feel compared to a lot of other teams, it's missing oomph, which is always weird to say when someone has a Tapu Lele, right? I've seen the oomph that a Tapu Lele can show with Choice Spec Psychics just blowing something up. I just don't really, I don't know. There's just something about this. I think I'm getting stuck on the not having a proper setup mon behind a Grimmsnarl, and that's what's getting me. Because I was talking with Cal's team of you want immediate offensive presence too behind a Grimmsnarl. Like, you want a mix of both so that we have options available to you. Especially more so if the Grimmsnarl compared to the Alolan Ninetales, because you have access to Parting Shot, right?
Yeah.
But I think it's the access to the Parting Shot that makes me value a setup mon more.
Because you are not only coming in with the Reflect and Light Screen, but they are also at -1 each. I'm assuming they're not a dark type and blocks that, but
Yeah.
it's Grimmsnarl, he'll just Spirit Break you, so like you're playing a fucking
And drop
game.
your Spec A anyway, and then can still do that later.
I will say, of the remaining DD setup mons that Espo had to choose from, I don't think T-Tar is terrible just because he does have a lot of experience playing with it in past splits.
Yeah.
So I think for him, I think it's the correct pick.
Again,
but
it's
I understand why there are better options.
it is the worst OUA option, but keep in mind, we still have, and I'm going to list them all now, Baxcalibur, Komodo,
God, Pascal.
Mega
Can you
Altaria,
imagine a Pascal?
Megazard X, Mega Gyarados, Mega Latios.
I don't think Komodo is better because it lost C-moves. But
It still has playing
still.
moves.
Yeah, I don't think Komodo is better, but like, actually,
Only
though,
Altaria, I don't think.
think about like,
And, wait, hold on, let me finish. Regidrago, which currently is the best Dragon Dancer in my opinion. Regidrago got a lot of moves this gen.
yeah, but like, my thing is like, imagine if it's not T-Tar, right, or it's a
I think
Baxcalibur.
it's the Baxcalibur.
Like, Baxcalibur would be insane, right? Megazard would be
Or
insane.
Gyarados.
Mega
I just saw
Gyarados.
Mega Gyarados, yeah.
Right? Like, Mega Gyarados is one of those mons. If,
Dragonite would be crazy.
if
I forgot about
Dragonite too, but if Mega Gyarados behind double screens can get 2 DDs up, there's nothing that stops that mon. We've seen that before. There's nothing that stops a Mega Gyarados at 2 DDs.
There's a reason that Noel Bussy, for all of his poor battling, has always managed to end the split with a positive win-loss.
And all the wins are from Mega Gyarados. Like, I think that
He's been
that's
5 and
that's
5
the
in
one
most of his
switch, right? Like,
splits.
think about this team with a Mega Gyarados or something like that, right? Like, that's one of those mons where it's like, oh, I'm not DDing with a T-Tar. I'm DDing with a mon that will fucking wipe you. I think T-Tar fits more into what you're saying about, like, the chip, because Sandstorm, right? But without it being, like, a smooth stone, you have to keep switching the T-Tar in and everything to, like, try and set it up.
I think it just fell back on a mon he's used before, and he
Exactly.
was comfortable with, when there was a lot of things on the board that were still...
Oh, but man, imagine a Baxcalibur in it, right? Because if you're doing, like, the DD Baxcalibur, I know what you're gonna say.
But continue with the thought. I
But
think
like,
it's important.
if you have like the DD Baxcalibur, right? You don't have to worry about like something, worrying about your Ice Shard priority. You're not going to have the terrain up if you're doing the setup behind the screens. And then if you are doing it in terrain, you don't have to worry about Mach Punch or Bullet Punch.
Yeah.
Right? Like mons like that gain so much from like you need a Grimmsnarl abuser on the Grimmsnarl team.
And that's the thing is, if he does end up making that change, it's easy as that to me.
Oh, it's so
It's
like
very easy.
no joke.
And
like,
what I will say
God,
is...
give Mega Gyarados on that team would be so disgusting.
what I was expecting out of this draft coming into those last 2 picks, I was expecting Mega Pinsir and something else, not Lele. I was expecting Mega Pinsir in this
Holy
draft.
fuck, Mega Pinsir too. Yeah,
But you can't do that with the Lele. So now it's like, is he gonna drop 2 mons? Because I don't think Tyler's ever made a waiver. I just don't see it happening.
I do think I think you saw T-Tar with any of these things.
I think it's a
Insane.
really good team, but until he does that, then I just don't like this team as much. I think that you're a little too harsh on the Grimmsnarl without an abuser, because you have to remember that Grimmsnarl doesn't have to be just screens. Obviously, getting Parting Shot incentivizes that more. But let's not forget that Bulk Up Grimmsnarl has won games in the league.
Oh no, for sure. Also, I think on the Grimmsnarl team you should have a defined besides.
Yeah. I would give this a 7 out of 10.
7 out of 10. I would give it a 6 with the potential for an 8.
Wow! 5.
You ever wanted to see a man peek the mic? Just get man to scream.
Yeah.
Alright. And now for the worst team in this one. Ben Schluter, Hong Kong Bronzons.
I will preface, in hindsight, Slitherwing would be great for this team, but I also didn't realize I was drafting Sun until the 4th pick.
Alright.
Yeah, I just not a fan of Urshifu Rapid Strike on this team. It just doesn't need to be there. Like, Ben says that he likes it, and it's like a strong fighting Watermon. What is it? Is it OUA?
It's OUA.
It's
right
OUA,
now.
yeah. Because it gains Sword Stance.
It gained Sword Stance and it gained Punching Love, which means that you don't have to worry about.
Yeah, sure, but like, even then,
It also
I
gains
don't want it
Trails.
in Sun.
Yes, absolutely. And Ben, you know what you have to do. This mon has to go. You know that. You know that in your heart of hearts. You know that this mon has to go.
But I don't want to.
Yeah, but don't get me wrong. Punching gloves.
Man, if you can just pick up a Zard X on this mon, please, I'm begging. Someone needs to pick up Zard X.
Cinderace Pyro Balls don't look terrible either.
Oh my god, shut up.
I don't care for it, but yeah, I mean, it's a nice team. It's a nice Sun team. It's just not better than Patty's, and I didn't like Patty's. But obviously, this team can do more than just Sun, and that's what I do like.
Yeah.
Because if you wanted to, you could just go like Booster Energy Moth, Urshifu Rapid, Brute Bonnet with Sucker Punch and Spore being utility. Sandy Shocks is great utility. Grafaiai is great utility. Low Kicks has power. I don't like the Altaria. What was that about?
I don't care for Comfy Altaria or Miss
Altaria.
I like Miss Maggie's.
Altaria gained Fire Spin.
Who cares?
And
Fire Spin Terror Song. Whoa!
It also gives me just like a bulky dragon that doesn't cost too much.
You know what else is a bulky dragon that doesn't cost too much? Appleton.
I didn't get it.
Clearly.
Wait, I think you could have drafted it. You actively chose to not draft Appleton and drafted Altaria.
Appleton's the name of a town in Wisconsin. I don't fuck with that.
You are literally a Wisconsinite.
No, I'm not.
Your parents are currently, right?
Yeah, my parents are.
Man, that's crazy.
I would actually. I know Victory Bell creates a presence, but I think Iron Moth is just the better mon to hit with poison moves. I get what Victory Bell does for the team, but there's possibility
What does Victory Bell even get for physical poison move?
No, it's a special
Poison jab.
attacker.
It's poison jab?
It's poison jab.
Okay.
That's it.
You're running special Victory Bell
Because
out
it gets Weather Ball.
It gets Weather Ball. And
Oh, yeah, it does.
Solar
It
Beam.
does.
Yeah. Blah. This needed a Skull Villain. This trap needed a Skull
I'm not
Villain.
paying BL for Scovillain.
You needed a Skull Villain.
No.
If you couldn't beat Patty to the Venusaur, you needed a Skull Villain.
I spent my BLs on Ninetales and Brute Bonnet. Like, no, I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm not spending money on Scovillain.
The Brute Bonnet was wrong, is what I'm trying to tell you here.
That is the most false statement I have ever heard.
On a Sun team, Brute Bonnet was incorrect. Yeah, I have Protosynthesis Sucker Punch.
I didn't know it was a Sun team until the 4th pick!
That is your own fault. You drafted.
Then you are lost.
You drafted a Sun team, and you are lost. That's like fucking Alex saying I didn't know I was drafting a Rain team until I finished the draft.
I don't think he still knows that he's drafted a Rain team.
In week 3, he'll be like, shit, that's a rain team! When
He's gonna see
the wheel pick finally comes out.
If the wheel pick finally comes out.
True.
I do like the Grafaiai because it can click Sunny Day.
Grafaiai was... I think I initially had it as 4th or 5th round, but when Sandy Shocks and Ninetales were available, I had to take those.
Sandy Shocks is a very good mon.
Sandy Shocks is almost as brainless as Iron Moth. Honestly, it's pretty brainless.
No, because the thing is, Iron Moth doesn't have, there's no fire immunity, especially in Sun. Sandy Shocks has to worry about 2 things being immune to its typings.
But when Sandy Shocks is able to outspeed all the base 100s by 1, it can just run Scarf and go to town with that boost in the Sun.
Sure, but Iron Moth can do that too, because Iron Moth outspeeds them.
But Iron Moth is usually running specs to just go through anything.
But it doesn't have to. That's the thing you have to remember, is that you can't lock yourself into that thought process when you're playing Sun.
Sure.
Because you need to be able to switch things up, even minutely, week by week, to keep using Sun effectively.
Yeah.
If you fall into a habit, then you're just going to get fucked the next time you rematch people. I know you said you don't like the Comfy and the Miss Magius. I personally think both those mons are solid RU and NU. We know they're both RU.
Oh, I think Comfy's great, because if you also factor in the boosted synthesis that it can do, like, it's...
Shut up! Who cares? Oh, it has priority synthesis and it's boosted. Who cares?
Especially with how much +1 and +2 priority is running around the league, I think +3 with triages.
You should try Urshifu Rapid Strike for Mega Venusaur.
That would be fun, wouldn't it?
It's just Mega Venusaur, but you don't click the Mega keys, you can clone.
Yeah, pretty much.
You're...
I'll just wait for Patrick to drop Venusaur.
I don't know, I do think that you're in a position where you need, like, Altaria is just fucking useless.
Yeah.
You need an actual ground resist, you need actual hazard control, otherwise you're bringing Altaria to every single week.
I'm actually thinking of... I haven't put in the waiver yet, but we'll see. I am thinking of making a waiver for one of the NUs.
Okay.
Well, I'm saying, like, What are you getting rid of Urshifu Rapid Strike?
We'll figure it out.
I think he's waiting on the Urshifu Rapid Strike to see if someone else drops their OUA.
Someone drops Screamtail.
Someone in this league.
Screamtail in Sun Photosynthesis.
Photosynthesis.
Passing Calm Minds.
No.
But, I mean, I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. I do actually think D-Knight's pretty good on the team, too. But,
Yeah. Oh, no, fair.
right?
Yeah,
Get
fair.
to your ground resist. You can run as a defogger. Do whatever you want. I don't care. But
You can run
right
for
now...
Fire Spin if you really wanted, because you're so adamant about that being good.
Yeah, but right now, I think the bottom half of your draft is butt cheeks. I think the Urshifu Rapid Strike does not fit for the team, which means that you're stuck in this weird position of you're gonna die to a fucking EQ.
Yep.
The team doesn't really have synergy. It is just how strong Iron Moth is and how strong Sandy Shocks is just directly in
Sure.
Sun. So I don't think that the team actually has any real cohesion. I think with a couple of waivers, we can bump it up really high. But for right now, it's almost just an Ethan team.
What's that number?
3.
3? Okay.
You said it's almost okay. It's not a 3.
Oh, it's worse than the team. It's getting up to an Ethan team.
Oh wow! That you're gonna take that?
What's your rating?
Oh, it's like a 4.
Okay. 10 out of 10 with a Boruto Bonetu!
Alright, next
Am I the only one who didn't rate their own team a 10? Man, you guys are fucking dickheads. I need a new co-host.
It's called narcissism. Thank you.
I'm sorry, the house can only make 10 out of 10, so...
Well, you didn't give Thomas a 10 out of 10.
He's a late addition to the house.
He's on a late edition.
I'm the later edition.
Yeah.
Alright, next up is Bobby Hahn.
Yeah. You know how we were talking about teams with no
2.
cohesion and no plan?
2.
Yeah, this is that. Because, like... Okay, so Screamtail and Gary work for a stall team, and Volk and Zapdos G work for an offense team, but none of them have any synergy with each other. Like, you can't do Garg and Zapdos G on a team. Like, it just doesn't work.
The crazy, like, this team is being held together by fucking Screamtail, and it's already gone, right?
He's dropped in Screamtail? 4-4.
Screamtail's getting dropped by Excalibur.
Okay,
Yeah.
interesting.
Which is why, you know, the whole thing about the...
Yeah, I hear it.
I do think Excalibur makes this team a lot better. Because Screamtail is... It's weird. Screamtail is holding the team together defensively. But
It doesn't need to be defensive.
it doesn't need to be defensive.
Especially with Bobby's playstyle.
Yeah, the team doesn't... It just kind of like... This is a team that actually has fucking nothing. Like, I don't know. Or like, are you bringing fucking Sand Slash every single week to set rocks or something for you to, like, try and win?
I
But the
feel
problem
like
is
he
that there's
wanted
also
the Sand
no
Slash.
real, like, speed, right? Like, your speed is coming from a Scarf Starmie. You can Scarf Galarian Zapdos every time, but that's, you know,
And he...
100 base speed.
Remember that in one of these last splits, he had Zapdos G as his fastest mon, and he brought it scarfed 10 weeks in a row.
Yep.
Because that was his only play.
I
So
don't
he's,
think you did great that split. That was
I
the
think-
last split?
that was 2 splits ago. Yeah. He did not make playoffs that split. But,
Yeah, exactly. But that's the thing. Like, I overvalue speed a little bit, but, like,
it is
you
important.
can't, like, what, Crawdon's gonna be your fucking guy? Crawdon's gonna be your guy? Like, that's not enough. You don't
Yeah.
have anything here. Like, the team just has almost, like, nothing going for it.
Volcarona has to set up if he wants speed. And
Yeah,
that's
like, Volcarona
not
has to
a
set up, but the problem
situation.
is that Volcarona is setting up with zero support from the team. There's nothing else there to try and help it. It's,
Yeah,
it's
there's
doing
no
it
slow
fucking
turners.
blind.
There's
Right.
no nothing. Yeah, I don't get the Sand Slash. What he was here.
Oh,
right?
no, he loves Sand Slash. No, he wasn't here. Poor.
Okay, but even if he loves Sand Slash, picking that up this early in the draft is ridiculous. There's no one taking Sand Slash from you.
Yeah, I do think it's a pretty value-ending pick, though, just in terms of the rapid spin,
Sure.
strong EQ plus rocks. Right?
Sure,
Like,
but
that's all you need from your end.
It's his one rock resistance on the team.
Dragon Apple, rock is
Neutral.
just rock. Yeah.
Fair enough.
He's got 2 spinners, but that's I think a problem. I think
Yeah.
it's not a problem against me because I only have 1 rock setter in week 1.
There's a lot of ghost types in this league
Sandy
currently
Shocks.
that you have to be concerned about. So spin isn't exactly the best hazard control.
Yeah.
And that has always been the case, and that will always be the case. Again, I don't like Sand Slash. I love Belly Bolt on this team, honestly. I do think Belly Bolt is the glue that will hold this team together.
For him to still get fucking obliterated by EQs.
I mean, that's
That
always
is,
been the case.
That and Aromatisse give the team a little bit of hope as just like something to kind of build some bulk around.
Yeah.
But Yeah.
It's just
Definitely
this
needs a
team
lot of work.
isn't a Bobby Hahn team. This is a Ben Schluter team. And I'm
Yeah,
just
that-
confused.
Still bad.
And I'm
Ew.
just confused because I don't know what he will do with this team.
2.
That too, yeah.
3, because I think it's way easier fixed than the team I gave a 1 and a 2.
All right. Aryan with the Qatar Quagsires. He has the friend.
This is the
Yeah.
second worst team that I have in my list.
Kingdra at 7th on a non-rain team. Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, Kindra's a good mon, but it's not a BL pick without rain.
Even if you were to add like a rain setter to this team,
I wouldn't. You just swap King Druid out for one of the banger
exactly.
deals on the
So
board.
it's not even worth trying to do that.
I just okay. So we have to keep in
Swap
mind
King Druid for a
Salamence.
Star Raptor.
Salamence was extremely nerfed without Z moves to a point where I don't think it's even OUA anymore.
God, there's so many.
This is Men's.
Yes,
Yeah.
and Skeledirge was extremely nerfed without Terra to a point where I'm also not sure if it's OUA anymore. So with the wheel pick, he picked up 2 mons that are not worth their price point.
And he had to wait 16 picks before he got to pick
His
what's
next
their-
2 picks.
Yeah.
And that shows because his next 2 picks were Mega Sharpedo and Flamigo. And like maybe this is just a team that he wanted to draft, in which case I can't fault him for it.
Dude, I don't know.
But
For me,
I don't
it's,
think this team holds up to the power of the league.
it's seeing drafting Flamigo before Galarian Zapdos. And now Flamigo might be a friend.
But
But I'm not going to bring Flamigo to a fight.
Look, with Flamigo in its current tier, I think it is higher value than Zapdos.
It's BL. Zapdos is OEB.
Correct.
Because they have, I think, the exact same speed stat.
No. Flamigo is 10 less speed and 10 less attack.
I don't think that's much of a punishment. You're bringing a Scarf on both those mons. It changes the mons you outspeed, but like, not by much.
Sure, maybe. But
And being able to spam close combat is really nice with all these ghost types in the league.
true, the scrappy close combat is very good.
Yeah.
But it does just kind of turn into the issue of like, I don't see an OUA on the team.
There is an LUA on the team. And there's a lot of wasted picks in here. Obviously, Kingdra when you have Sharpedo, Mienshao when you have Flamigo.
This is the only list that where the last 5 mons are just. I don't think they're easy.
Yeah, no.
The last 6 mons, and I know that this is an 11-mon draft.
No. I think Mienshao actually does a lot for this team, but it's
How?
just doing the same thing as Flamigo.
Yeah, exactly. There's
Well-
too much. There's too much overlap, and like that's the thing. You take out like the 5 bottom mons, right, which are all just terrible, and then you just have the top 6, and you still have overlap.
You still have overlap, and you still have not as much power as anyone else's top 6.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I don't know how you can even fix this team, because somehow all these worthless picks are still, like, high in points, like Kingdra and Mienshao. So it's not like you could drop Mega Sharpedo for an OUA Mega. You have to settle for an OUB. And honestly, Sharpedo's the best mon on this team. Sucks to say. This is Aryan's team.
I want to see Dugong get a kill.
I hope that it.
I hope Dugong doesn't show up in the league. That's my thought process on that. Probably not, Thomas.
I would give this team a 1 out of 10.
This is your worst team?
Yes.
This is the worst team in the league, because that's what you've said for prior picks.
By the current standings, it is the worst team in the league.
No, you said league history, because that's what you said you wouldn't give me 10s and 1s.
0 out of 10 is the worst in
Okay,
league history.
fair enough,
Yes.
fair enough. 2, because I do still think that Alex's team is worse and harder to fix, but holy fuck is this hard to fix.
2. Yeah.
Okay.
2. I think there's just too much. Like, while this team doesn't really have that much synergy or anything, Alex's team actively has counter synergy.
Alex's team actively is like he has to spend 5 weeks cleaning up that team, and it's not going to be enough. Aryan can maybe do it in 5 weeks, but he's fighting the wire on that.
So now that we've gone through the 16 teams, do we want to start making predictions as like how we think divisions are going to go the rest of the way?
I don't want to do divisions this week because this week is out of division matches, right?
Yeah, we can just wait for
Sure. Yeah.
We can do schedules though. Who do you think is going to win week 1?
Yeah, we could do most exciting match of week 1 and also look at who's going to win each one.
Most exciting match, me and Quinn, baby. Last 2 champions.
That makes sense why it's at the top.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would agree with that one. Me and Bobby is a historic
That's
rivalry,
week
but
1.
But yeah, I don't think the matchup is going to be that great.
And I can also say my least favorite match to see next week is going to be the Quagmire versus the, what is that, Quagsires?
Cutter Quagsires.
Yeah, I think that Aryan versus Ethan is going to be the slowest match we're going to have in League history.
Oh, man.
I think we will break the turn record on that match.
There's no way we break the turn record. The turn record was fucking Ben over here, right?
No, that was the noob split with, who had the Whale Lord?
The Whale Lord.
Jasper or Salvi, I don't
Jasper,
know.
it was Salvi.
Jasper Ethan!
Yeah, it was,
Jasper Ethan!
and there's like a Transform Mew, right?
Yes.
Tickles asleep. Jasper Ethan Trevenant Transform Mew. We were at fucking robotics. We were at robotics in the stadium on campus when that shit was happening. That shit was so
Mike is playing Aaron, and with Mike having Galarian Corsola, that could be a pretty long match as well, depending on how Aaron plays it. But yeah, I would agree that I think Quagmire versus Quagsire is going to be a slow burn.
Yeah.
We've also got Patty versus Alex.
Again, Patty may have the worst Sun team out of the bunch, but it is still better than having a weather team that is with the wrong weather. So,
Yeah, very fair.
granted, I do think that Sand will always beat Sun in the Sand vs. Sun matchup, but I don't know. I don't see Alex pulling that out.
Yeah. And we've got another big match would be the Hartford Whalelords Espo versus Tickle and the Lake Spirits. I think that's a very exciting matchup.
Yeah, for sure. That is a UU split champ and the record holder for most wins in playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely. After that, we've got the Shanghai Sharpedos versus Swan and the Minnesota Victinis. That's two top teams going at it in week one. What's that? Iron Bundle playing against Electric Train.
Yes.
So
Can Iron Bundle beat his entire family?
that's another good one.
Really, the only question is, does he bring Scarf Jugulus Timid to outspeed
Iron Bundle and Terrain.
And the thing is that if he does, Dark Pulse does 23% to good old Electros. No, I mean, this isn't going to be
This
up
is gonna
by
come out a week later.
Yeah.
Also, nope. Yeah, we gave
Dude, come on,
the
say
code.
it. Say all the heat. Say all the heat that you're planning on bringing. That's not going to happen.
Absolutely nothing.
You don't need anything. You have Megalopony.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, this is the matchup where Megalopony goes to town on all of
Megalop
Cal's
goes
team.
to town. Blacephalon comes in the back with Choice Scarf and goes, "Shuffle."
Cal actually has to bring
Did you look at my
Drifblim.
team?
He actually has to bring Drifblim so that he can resist fighting attacks from the Megalop.
From the Megalop.
For our
Yeah.
listeners at home, you are watching House Collusion at work.
Oh, you have no idea.
We have made this podcast exclusively so we could collude. We forced Quinn and Thomas to sit down in the other room so that they had to listen to this.
Look, the only way that you can get this is if you pay $100 for the Patreon subscriber tier to help pay for rent for the house.
Exactly.
To become a partial member for the house.
And this is all JoJo's idea. He's the real puppet master.
No, honestly, look at him right now.
He's controlling the game.
Yeah.
Let's just go into predictions. What are your thoughts on me versus Quinn?
Ooh, Quinn, come over here.
I haven't thought about who wins.
I will abstain from this, by the way,
Python versus Quinn, who's gonna win?
because I actually don't have thoughts. I haven't done any team prep yet.
Python versus Quinn.
I think Quinn's team is in a better position right now for week one. I know you're anticipating a waiver coming up.
Who do you think's gonna who do you think's gonna win between you and Python?
Obviously himself.
Yeah.
I'll go with Quinn.
I actually do think it's Quinn. I think we haven't talked about anything, right?
I
So
gotta go
far.
with Python.
No.
Still MLK Day, 58 minutes.
Amen, brother.
I think the matchup is very Quinn favored. So
Heck, do the match now while he's boosted.
I'm ready to give Python's team a pretty high rating.
You have to remember he's Kenyan, so yeah.
I do think that Quinn's favored in this matchup.
Just to throw out my thoughts, Quinn, you're invited to listen because these are my immediate thoughts looking on this team preview. You really need Melodic against me.
Oh, what do you
Depends
mean?
on what set you're asking.
Any of them.
No, that's not true.
Any of them.
I don't know. It really does depend.
Alright. So that's thoughts on the first match.
Yeah.
Darkrise versus Bronzongs.
That Darkrei's team suck right now. I think
Dark
they're
Rice's
gonna
dog shit. It
kick his
shouldn't
ass.
be. I think it should genuinely be Iron Moth comes in with specs and goes, ha, burr.
Yeah, that's pretty much the plan. Scarf, Sandy Shocks outspeeds
Outspeeds.
all of his base 100 mons
Yep.
and also runs Power Gem for the Volcarona.
It just kind of turns into the question of, does your boy, Krabby Man,
Crawdon.
Crawdon?
It
Crawdon's
really
not a
is
problem when I've got low kicks.
low kicks for the first impression?
Actually, wait, I'm not bringing low kicks. I think Brute Bonnet just, covers
You
it.
could get CC.
They have the same speed, so I just have to run
You could get
some
CC,
investment.
but also I
They
don't think
what?
it kills.
We have the same speed.
Oh my god.
I think the bigger thing that you have to be concerned about is that belly bolt, and this is why you can't bring Urshifu Rapid this week, because if you do, you're gonna get blown to hell.
Belly bolt.
I think that you will genuinely 4-0 him very easily.
This should not be close. If you lose, you...
But yeah,
So-
Patty versus the Polytoads.
I think that we can all agree this will be a 6-0 Patty.
I-
Disagree?
Dude, Patty's like the one team where he might just get fucking wiped by Aqua Step Quaquaval.
It's a good...
He has a Mimikyu. If he loses to Quaquaval, he deserves to not be in the league.
Hey, yo, look, man, I've seen Play Rough miss.
Fair. But you can also just Shadow Claw twice.
Into existence.
I did.
You can just Shadow Claw twice.
Why are you getting it twice? Quack at like a +1 CB? Kills. Mimikyu gets fucking blown back.
It's not that
Later.
I'll probably step in.
Gonna get foot up ass. Alright.
It's a good opportunity for either of these teams that are currently, hopefully, beginning to rebuild the team to pick up a win early in the season.
Also,
But-
what you're getting is Suicune exists and it has pressure.
Sure.
He will pressure
yeah,
stall
no,
the Aqua
Sui-
Steps.
100%. Suicune's like the biggest thing. Because the thing about the Suicune is that the Palmot can't kill it because you can't double shock twice.
Yeah.
Sucks to suck.
Also, I think if you protect, it actually still goes through and you lose the type.
That's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
We should tell him that he's a house member. We gotta help.
Alex isn't a house member.
No.
I mean, Patty.
Patty's not a house member.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Former house, I'll go with Patty and the Washingtons.
Yeah, I'll go with Patty too, but this one's that I think it's surprisingly close. I think no joke Leafeon needs to come. Because actually that was one thing that we were talking about with Alex. Choice Specs Typhlosion in the sun just will fucking tear through most of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. No,
And he does have to be aware of that.
there's multiple things that Patty actually does have to watch out for. I think that this might be the one match in this entire league that is Alex's favorite.
Again, I do have to disagree on that. I understand where you're coming from, but again, this is the worst team in the league, and I don't think that he can pull it
Man,
out.
you can switch T-Tar into Zardwa every time. The Focus Blast will never hit.
That's you can go for the 2-turn Thunder Beam at that point. If you know what's happening every turn, just fucking do it and just dodge the Rock Slide. if that's the logic we're going with,
He's gonna power jump. He's gonna power jump.
Man, whatever.
All right, who's up next?
It's the Quagmire versus the Quagsires.
I have to give it to the Quagmire because I don't like the Quagsires.
I
team.
think Goldengo by itself can solo win the game.
Fair. I mean,
doesn't have to
actually,
worry-
no, it cannot because Skeledirge.
That and Scrappy Flamigo.
True. Ooh. This might be the one match that Ari is favored for.
Actually, no, yeah, Scrappy Flamigo just kind of can tear through his entire team, right?
Yeah.
It is just, you
only
just
one
need the
that can switch
Dondozo.
Dondozo is the only one that can switch in. Well, I guess that's
What do you mean? Yeah, Galarian Rapid. I mean, it's not going to happen, but... Well, Beedrill can actually probably take one if it's like a choice band one.
They can take one.
Yeah, I know.
I think Ethan's got enough answers in the back that I don't think
I think he's
I still think it's Ethan favored,
Dude,
but
it'll be close.
Yeah.
My thing is you bring the good old max defense Dondozo and just call it a day.
yeah, because you're unaware, you don't have to care about Skeledirge.
Yep. Next.
The Hartford Warlords versus the LA Lake Spirits.
Tackle favorite. It's not even fucking close. Tackle favorite because Rillaboom's slower than Lele.
Yeah, and Cerulege covers the steel types pretty well.
Cerulege can slurp the entire team. The only thing that it can't slurp is Dragalge. Everything else it slurps.
Inteleon can come in and do some damage to it.
Only if it has Psychic Train up.
Yeah, you get Shadow Sneak into Oblivion. CC'd.
It's Tickle favored, but only because these last two picks on Tyler's team are not good enough. If this was a Zardex and literally anything else, then this would be hard Tyler favored.
Yeah. Also, Goodra looks at Sceptile and calls it a bitch.
Mega Diancie looks like Grimmsnarl, calls it a bitch.
Yeah. Mega Diancie looks at Grimmsnarl, calls it a bitch. And then fucking Goodra looks at Sceptile and says that you will never sweep this game.
What is funny though, and Tickle might have to be aware of this, Diancie has clear body, so it doesn't care about parting shot. But if you Mega and he parting shots, then you're the one getting switched out.
Yeah.
Because you've done the match. You've done the parting shot.
I also think Masquerain with webs is enough to win the game too.
I think
Because like what's like you have Corviknight for defog.
Corviknight for defog. Yeah, for taunt. That's about it.
I know, but Corviknight's existence in this game is to try and stop the Rill Boom. It's gonna get fucking blown back by this Rule Edge. I think that just Masquerain with defog, like Masquerain with webs, is enough to help stop the team
You
too.
have to also consider that Diancie has Mystical Fire, so it doesn't actually die. Doesn't lose to Corviknight anymore.
I don't think Mystical Fire will though, right?
It 2 chaos.
But don't you die to the Iron?
Sure, but like he can't switch into my point.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I think Tickle has the advantage just team versus team, but I think Espo will be able to pilot this team, get the upset despite it.
That's a wild.
Did you hear that? Them fighting words.
Oh, I'm just inspiring the house to play harder. That's just it's all puppeting.
I love it when we peek the mic. Let's do it.
Next.
We're gonna peek the pike.
You didn't even peek the mic on either of
Oh,
us.
dang it. All right, Shanghai Sharpedos versus the Minnesota Victinis.
I mean, I had to vote for the house, and I do think that bundle can just do it. Also,
Yeah.
Also,
Yeah.
512 ground weakness against the Lando T. Like, let's be realistic here.
Treads really isn't doing much this game to Nando's team.
Life Orb Lando T. It cannot touch.
But the thing is,
Electros.
he needs treads because otherwise he's going to get sticky web.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's just clicking rapid spin the entire game.
And honestly, I didn't mention this before, but you need a ghost type as well. You need to be able to block those rapid spins.
My thing is I think Galvantula is there, no joke, just for the threat of it.
I understand.
I don't know when I'm actually gonna bring it.
But if you want to truly have the threat of it, then you do want
I have
the
to use
ghost.
it at least once.
Yeah.
Again, I'm out here running Tailwind to Dunsparce, min speed with Baton Pass.
Yeah, man, you got it.
I'm picking Nando for this one.
I really want
As much as I like Swan's team, I think Nando has the counterplay.
Nando has the counter team outright. Almost makes you think the house did something to the schedule.
It was all randomized.
Okay. What's next?
Thomas versus Cal.
Thomas
Thomas
shits on Cal every day.
Yeah, next one.
Move on.
Next one. Tennessee Ticket Titans with Mike Burke versus Aaron and the Milwaukee Susbucks.
I think we can all agree that this game is going to be a doozy. I want to give it to Mike because I know Mike is the better battler, but on team preview, that Darmanitan is causing so much problems.
Wait, it's Aaron versus Mike.
Yeah. Because he has to bring the Flash Fire Chandelure and outplay every turn with it.
Yeah, the pressure of Annihilate and Darman Mike's team handle, especially with how bulky he built it, it just can't keep up with those two.
I feel like he doesn't care about the Annihilate. Because the other thing that you have to consider is, obviously, that Word and Wash needs defog or else he's fucked.
I think, you have to care about that. Because that's how Rage Fist built throughout the entire game. Like, the reason why it's...
I get that, but like I'm saying, in terms of Mike's offensive power, he will break the Annihilate before it can ever Rage Fist with a 150, right?
Sure, yeah.
Because if he double Iron Bashes, it doesn't matter that you hit it twice. Annihilate is dead. If he Flower Tricks, it's dead in 2. If he Hydro Pumps, it's dead in 2. If he Shadow Balls with Chandelure, it's dead in 2. If he Scale Shots, it's dead in probably 1, honestly.
Does it get Drain Punch?
It does get Drain Punch, but it's just not fast enough.
Because I think it's Snorlax and Drain Punches that. Like, it has the potential to heal. Like,
you don't bring Snorlax to this game.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't bring any value. Because Snorlax doesn't beat anything against his team.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just feel like if Mike is smart, both in the prep and the play aspect, there should be no way that he can lose this. And he is a more experienced battler, so I'm gonna give it to Mike.
I just don't think he can break the defensive core in this situation. If there's actually a position where just enough, or Mike can just win with Annihilate. Aaron can win with Annihilate. I think I'm gonna give it to Aaron. Because there's all the other thing is like Heatran is so good into Mike's team.
There are more mons that Aaron has to prep for on Mike's team than Mike has to prep for on Aaron's.
But it's the quality.
It's like
if Annihilate is used correctly, Aaron should win the game.
And in that same vein, if Mega Garchomp is used correctly, as in a scale shot, a physical attacker, Mike should have no problem with this game. Because that's my other problem with Aaron's team that I didn't go over. There's just no fast, strong attacker. Because like his fastest attacker is Scolipede and then Scarf Darm.
Mm-hmm.
But that means
the
he has
game
to bring
becomes
Scarf
getting
Darm.
that speed onto something else. I think I'll stick with Mike on this one.
Yeah.
It's very close.
That's a very close game. Because it's going to entirely come down to the play.
Alright, so those are all the matches for week 1. The last question I will end with is, how many illegal teams do we have in week 1?
Do we have any?
No, how many illegal teams are going to be made in this first week? And
you mean like as in they're going to be illegal? I mean,
Yes.
you're validating in NatDex. If you make an illegal team, then you should probably just...
But, like, also, if they're not checking, and it's something as simple as, like, using a move like Defog that is not obtainable in a certain generation, combined with, like, something getting, like, Ice Shard or something like that, or even overlapping with a Pursuit from past gens, like, there's going to be ones that I don't even think we pick up that we're only going to see after the fact.
We're going to see it through NatDex. Because again, if the team is legal in NatDex OU, it's legal in our league.
They can check it themselves, but we're not checking teams.
I know,
ahead
I'm
of
going
time.
to tell everyone, validated teams in NatDex, we're not touching that shit.
Okay.
If you bring an illegal team and we find out it's illegal, you lose that game.
Okay, so over, under, 1.5.
Under.
Under?
Under.
I'm saying over. I think there will be several.
If both teams bring an illegal team, that's a double forfeit. Can we just agree on that?
That's a -3 for both.
Yep.
Good. Yep, that's fine.
Cool. We have a council majority on that, and no one will see that until after this week. Haha, fuck you guys.
Suck it.
All right.
Decisions be made whenever we choose.
And with that note, thank you for listening to The Wheel Pick. I've been Ben.
Wait, no, you didn't finish. The wheel pick, your first overall pick, and the official draft, the official podcast of the Midwest Pokemon League.
I'm Ben.
That's the commissioner of our Pokemon League. That's Nando.
Where's Tickle?
You almost said the N-word. That's crazy. Anyways, I'm Python. It's MLK Day. Adios.